I'd like to call to the order the council meeting for Tuesday, March 7th, 2017. If we could all please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady, Valerie Scott Cooper, Hakeem Jones, Heather Lewis, Sue Ann Gardner,
Here.
Derek Perry, Sonia Sanders.
Here. Would a member of council like to make a motion to approve the workshop meeting minutes from February 21st, 2017? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, the motion is approved for the meeting minutes. Earlier this evening, we did not have an executive session. Do we have any announcements this evening? Councilman Jones?
So, Norristown is still receiving applications for the free home repair program. The date has been extended until March 14th. So if you need any of the repairs in the area of exterior or interior painting, interior, exterior carpentry, wheelchair ramp, handrail installation, step repair, porch repair, weatherization, or trailers, please reach out to the Code Enforcement Department. The deadline has been extended. Code Enforcement 610-270-0441.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Anyone else? Madam Secretary, do we have any public comments this evening?
Yes, Yvonne Platts.
Good evening.
My public comment is about parking in Norristown. I'm looking on the agenda. I see there's some parking that's going to be addressed this evening about the removal of handicap signs. But just recently, I brought it to the attention of my council person in the 4th District. But over a year ago, I put in a formal request about the parking, about the handicap parking sign being removed. It belonged to my neighbor, who's about 98 years old, who has stopped driving, and and it hasn't been taken care of. And just last week, when I was in a hurry, I'm about to back up and park in the spot, Officer Rambo did one of these numbers, "Don't you do it." So I'm like, Officer Rambo, you already know that I put in a request. I've been asking for over a year. And he told me, yes, I know, it just hasn't happened yet, and don't you park there. And I mean, and it's just troublesome on many occasions. I'm healthy, thank God, and I can walk. But there's some days I got a weak bladder, and I'm trying to park and get into my house quickly, and I got to park halfway up a block in either direction, because that's the one spot. Then in the next block, at 315, it says Arch Street, the garage is there. I was asking about that sign. I've asked over a year ago about that sign. It says no parking from here to the corner, because at one time it was a car wash. And so they put up the sign then, and that's 2 spaces, particularly on trash days, street cleaning days, Wednesdays and Thursdays, when it's definitely harder to find a parking space in the vicinity of my house, since I can no longer, since the past 30 years, park in front of the street, which I never got a good reason why you can't park, why they stopped parking on Arch Street, in the 400 block of Arch Street. So, but in any case, on the 315 Arch Street, which is the address, on the side of Penn Street, there's 2 parking spaces where, when I first learned to drive, that's where I used to park my car. And so I've been really disgusted with parking there, particularly just on Penn Street, because that's the only block that matters to me right about now, because that's where I live and park. So I just, for the record, I wanted to come here and put that on the record, that I'm really concerned about the removal of the handicap sign. That it's been almost 2 years, I know for sure, that I'm requested that the parking come down. And Officer Rambo, who himself told me he was familiar with that, told me he was going to follow up and put that request in, but it hasn't been removed yet. And my new request, though, is there's 2 parking spaces on the side of Penn Street for that property at 315. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you leave, Ms. Platts, Chief Talbot, could you please get her information? And then we'll also, hold on, and then we'll also have you follow up with your council person if that doesn't get resolved, but I'm pretty confident Chief Talbot will handle that request.
So if you get a hold of me like you do about anything else,
I owe you a call. Happy New Year.
let me know and I'll take care of it.
Yes.
All right.
I will. Thank you.
Delbert Harrison.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you guys? Great. First of all, on behalf of myself and members of the American Legion's Post, I want to thank Hakeem Jones for the great effort you did in helping that family acquire a new home. I think we raised close to $60,000 or something like that. Tremendous effort. Big ups from me. I'm here about the parks, all the parks, basically. I'd like to address that. First, Martin Luther King Park. Recently, you know that park was built by Norristown people, namely Rochelle Colbert, Marge Hunsinger, Tony Darden, Bill Precyson, and so on. It's a monument that was built and erected. I think it's the only one in Montgomery County. Recently, the lights been on. On his birthday, the lights was off. I informed Mr. Jones about it, and I talked to Grandel. He told me that it was something with a switch or somebody forgot, whatever it is. I'm here to address that. Dr. Martin Luther King is the reason why all our grandmoms were able to vote in America. What year was that? 1964, Mr. Solicitor, something like that? Yeah, a woman was not allowed to vote in America until Dr. Martin Luther King. So he is a treasure to us. That park that's over $1 million right there on the strength of Rochelle Colbert and the aforementioned. Recently, council members Marlon Milner, Linda Kristen, Gary Simpson, and them, they erected a new monument. After that monument was built, a community was formed right here to preserve and to improve on that community. Those 4 guys also helped to form that community. I'd like us to react, that committee or whatever it is, council is respond here to hold you accountable. One of the things that the chief said when he first came here is residents don't hold our elected officials accountable. I'm here to hold you guys accountable. Make sure that the people that brought that there and had that, like I said, it's the only one in the county. A lot of people hate that waterfall because it's too good for us. How did they get that nice waterfall? The sprinkler system in the summertime, beautiful. That's on the strength of our own resident. We have Norristown resident here. I'm asking you guys to ensure and make sure that happens. On Simmons Park, I also like to ask you guys to extend a light. I just talked to Grandel about that. I mean, the light, yeah, you can. That council can in the summertime because you have kids from school who is over 18 years old. If you turn it on at 10 o'clock, it gets dark at 9 o'clock. It's too hot to play ball. Extend it doing all the week to 12 o'clock. They're out in the street anyway, and the lights, what? The lights is safety valve. At least you see what they're doing. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Delbert. I think it's my understanding that the light issue has been resolved. Am I correct by saying that?
Madam President, yes. The issue in the very beginning was the lights seemed that they were being turned off earlier, and that they actually were going off at the same time. But as the time extended, as we get closer to daylight savings time, The lights were reset to go off at the same time during the week, 10:30, that they always have gone off. We changed it for daylight savings time at the end of last year, and then the plan was that once daylight savings times came this year, we change it back. It's been unseasonably warm, and the days have extended, and so when Delbert brought it to our attention that people were playing, I said, it's no problem, it's not a big deal. We will have the timer adjusted to daylight savings time early so that the light will stay on. I think part of the other issue that he's raised has to do with the fact that, as he just said, he wanted, he's requesting that the lights are on until 12 o'clock every night. We've had this discussion multiple times since I've been here, and probably before, but council, the municipality has a curfew ordinance. That curfew ends is initiated at 11 p.m. during the week, and it's initiated at 12 p.m. On Fridays, and at 12 midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. Initially, we would turn the lights off at 10 because of the 11 p.m. curfew during the week, and 11 because of the 12 p.m. curfew during the weekends. When we had this discussion, as this issue was raised a few years back, council adjusted the time through a discussion with the police chief to extend the cutoff time to 10:30, giving folks an opportunity, 30-minute opportunity to get home before the curfew on the weekend, on the weekdays, and to 11:30 from 11 o'clock for the same reason on the weekend. So the adjustment was made. And what I advised Delbert of is the fact that, if council wanted to do something related to the curfew, that's one decision. But I know that also part of the discussions that had led to the whole extension of a curfew in the first place had to do with peace and quietude in the community for the residents as well. So I think that's where we are. He also had pointed out that there were some issues with trash cans, not enough trash cans in the park as well. As I had shared earlier with council, the fact of the matter is we had taken out a number of trash cans out of the park because of the winter season, and what we had experienced during previous years was that there was theft and damage to those trash cans because during the winter months there wasn't a whole lot of traffic going out, and the practice has been to, again, once the weather warms up, place them back out there. At the same time, I talked to the Public Works Director about having the lights adjusted. I also said we can now go ahead and put the trash cans back out, and both of those things have happened since that discussion. But any other discussion related to curfew and extending of the hours, certainly is a council discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Madam Secretary.
Anna Gelman.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here because we had a presidential election, and some policies from the president are really concerning me. I know that Norristown has a huge population of Hispanics that must be affected by these policies. And I just want to express, as a member of the community, that we do not support those policies, and I want to make sure that council is aware of how we feel about it, and hopefully they share my sentiments about this issue. Presidents come and go, and we are here to pick up the pieces, whatever they left behind. And I do not want to disassemble a community, although we like to complain about the Hispanics because of certain issues we have been having in the past, but this is not the way to address it. I just want to make sure that the police is on par with this sort of notion that they are part of our community, however they got here, and pulling them out in an abrupt way, how they had been suggested on television, would be devastating, not just to them, but to the community as well. And I don't know what kind of policies are in place at the moment. I would like to encourage everyone either to reach out to surrounding townships to make sure that we are not flooded because we are creating a safe haven, but at the same time we are creating sort of a safe haven as well. I know that the law should protect due process and whatnot, but these people will not be afforded that if ICE or any other organization is stepping in, as we stand right now from the suggested rhetorics from the White House. So I'm asking to either set up or reach out to Hispanic communities, Lily, thank you, who can help these people whatever way we can. I'm an attorney, although immigration is not my specialty. I'm willing to volunteer, despite that I have a newborn and a very active 3-year-old on my hands. I think it's super, super important to make sure that we embrace the entire community and make sure that they don't fall under the tracks, whoever is willing to trump on them. No pun intended. Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of the council, we do share your concern. And if you could wait a few minutes after the meeting, I would be happy to discuss some of the findings that we've had and some of the meetings that I did conduct. Okay? Thank you.
That's it.
Madam Secretary, do we have any communication this evening?
No, we don't.
Thank you. First order of business, we have the Municipal Council for Resolution 17-116 for board and committee appointments.
Madam President, Resolution 17116 for 2017 is council appointments to various boards and commissions. What's being requested per this resolution is that Doug Seiler be reappointed to the Board of Code Appeals with a term expiring December 31st, 2019. Laura Gamble be appointed to the Design Review Board with a term expiring December 31st, 2022. Alexander Draferber and Jennifer Tompkins be appointed to the Special and Cultural Events Committee, terms expiring December 31st, 2017. Monica Reynolds be appointed to the Planning Commission, term expiring December 31st, 2019. Jerry Nugent be reappointed to the Blighted Property Removal Board, term expiring December 31st, 2019. And Doug Seiler and Gail Bresnahan be reappointed to the Historical Architectural Review Board with terms expiring December 31st, 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, would a member of council like to make a motion to approve the appointments to the following: Citizen Advisory Boards, Blighted Property Removal Committee, Special and Cultural Events Committee, Planning Commission, Historical Architectural Review Board, Design Review Board, and Board of Code Appeals?
Second.
Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady, Valerie Scott Cooper, Hakeem Jones, Heather Lewis, Sue Ann Gardner,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders.
Aye. The ayes have it. Resolution 17-116 is approved. Next order of business we have is public safety. Chief Talbot, would you take us into Resolution 17-115 for disabled parking?
Thank you, Madam President. Resolution 17-115 is relative to disabled parking. The purpose is to establish handicap parking at 121 West Elm Street. The resident there has a medical condition that makes this necessary, and also to remove handicap parking at 107 Stanbridge Street. The resident there has moved.
Thank you, Chief Talbot. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, would a member of council like to make a motion to review the request for handicap parking at 121 West Elm Street, as well as the removal of a handicap parking space at 107 Stanbridge Street? Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady, Valerie Scott Cooper, Hakeem Jones, Heather Lewis, Sue Ann Gardner, Sonia Sanders.
Aye. Resolution 17-115 passes. Next order of business we have is Planning and Municipal Development. Ms. Musanye.
Thank you, Madam President. If Council will recall, you adopted the plan for the Greenway trails that was actually presented to Council in January. Now the county has the 2040 implementation grants, and we're trying to seek $180,000 or $150,000, I'm sorry, to help us implement the first leg of the trail. This will be the connector from the Schuylkill River Trail through on the Sawmill Run. This is at the August Moon Place to Main Street. That'll be the first phase we're trying to do so that we can attract the users of the trail onto Main Street. The application was due March 1st. We didn't want to miss the deadline. That's why we submitted the application and we've brought it to Council to ratify it. We're asking the county to give us $150,000, and we have to have a match, which is 30%, which will come from the funds that you had approved under the general fund budget. This is actually a good way of attracting the bicyclists who now bypass Norristown. We want them to come into Norristown, and especially to enjoy some of our destinations, including Five Saints and all. And we believe that this improvement will be the beginning of the rest of the trails which are on the Stony Creek, as well as the Sawmill Run that also connect us to East Norton as well as West Norton.
Thank you, Ms. Musanye. Councilwoman Olivia Brady.
Thank you, Madam President. Ms. Musonye, part of this grant, does it include bike racks along Main Street for the stores that will be participating in welcoming bikers?
My understanding that we should be including that, yes.
And what other things are included in this grant, particularly in regards to attracting bikers to the stores in Norristown?
It'll be path, but at the same time, there's going to be landscaping. There will be some treatments, decorative treatments, so that it is an attractive entrance. You'd have some lighting. You'd also have new curbs, a new sidewalk.
Any signage?
Yes, I'm sorry, I forgot signage. That's most important, signage, yes. I forgot. It's the most important part of it, yes.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Scott Cooper.
Any benches or people they want to stop and sit?
That's a good suggestion. In this particular round, there isn't a bench, but I'm sure we can try and incorporate that as we implement. It's a good idea. Mm-hmm.
Councilman Jones.
I believe the original presentation that we were given included Stony Creek as well. I wanted to know if this ties into Stony Creek or is this completely separate?
No, it's both. It's Stony Creek as well as Sawmill Run. Those are the two trails that basically end up connecting to the Schuylkill Valley as well as the Chester Valley.
So are we voting on something for the Sawmill Run tonight, or are we
Correct.
voting on both the Sawmill Run and Stony Creek?
No, you're voting on the Sawmill Run. That's just the first leg.
Okay,
So
because
what we
last
do-
presentation, both were included, so I wanted to clarify
Correct.
that we're dealing strictly with Sawmill Run and,
In the presentation, you were given the whole plan.
okay.
This is now implementing, trying to implement the plan in phases, because we can't do it all at the same time. So we chose that particular piece to connect at that Lafayette and Main Street at August Moon, as it was shown during that presentation. It's the most optimum place that we feel will basically enhance even the Lafayette Street. When people are actually driving on the new Lafayette Street, they can also see the I guess, welcoming path for Main Street. Just getting people from Bike Trail, Lafayette, onto Main Street.
Mr. Jones.
Madam President, I just wanted to also remind Council I believe it was last year when we got a presentation regarding the Lafayette Street corridor, and one of the reasons this particular one came first as opposed to Stony Creek is because as a part of, it's a separate project, but it's going to be done in conjunction with Lafayette, that the county is also investing in a series of pocket parks along Lafayette Street that will culminate with the development of the old train junction. All of that is designed to attract the bikers and hikers or whoever uses the trail to slow down, stop in Norristown. So when we looked at it at the beginning of that, I think it's going to be 3 different parks that are going to be along that corridor. We wanted to have that exit ramp into downtown Norristown as a way of bringing people, as Jane said, to existing businesses like August Moon and also the new developments that are occurring along Main Street.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Jones. Any other questions? Seeing none, would a member of council like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 17-117 of 2017, authorizing the submission of a grant application for $150,000 to construct the Sawmill Run Greenway Trail Connector?
Second.
Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady. Valerie Scott Cooper. Hakeem Jones. Heather Lewis. Sue Ann Gardner. Sonia Sanders.
Aye. The ayes have it. Resolution 17-117 is approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Would a member of council like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting? All in favor? The ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.
Excellent. Good.